Hi there. Today we are going to be going over configuring a frame relay. What a frame relay is a point-to-point connection over the sub interfaces of R1, which is going to be known as our hub interface, and the spoke routers, which are R2, R3, and R4. So, before we can do that, we need to go ahead and verify the default configuration on all four of the routers. And we do this by going into the command line interface here, bringing up our cursor, and then going into privileged exec mode by typing enable, enter the password, Cisco, enter, and that pound sign next to it means that we are in privileged exec mode now. So I'm going to go ahead and get this paused while I apply that to the other four routers because it takes a sec. So give me 1 second here. Alrighty, we got that all enabled on every single one of the routers. So first thing we need to do after we get it into exec mode is enter show running config to show the configuration we currently have. And it looks like we got Ethernet, 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 VLAN, and VLAN. And looks like we're good to go on there. And it looks like we need to do this on all four of them. So I'm going to go ahead and do that as quick as I can with you guys here. Okay, looks good there. Looks good there, and we just need to do it on number 4 real quick here. And looks good there. So our next step is to verify the routing tables by using the IP route command on. It doesn't specify a router, so I'm going to go ahead and use R1. So okay, looks like it's directly connected to fast Ethernet right here. And I'm sure it's going to show the same for each of those. Keep this one out of frame real quick while I check. Yeah, it's going to show the same for each of those except for right here. The IP address is going to change for each of the ones. The R1 is 10, 10, 10, 0. This one is 10, 20, 20, 0. And 3 is going to be 30, 30, 0, 40, 40, 0, and so on. So what we need to do is go back onto R1, go back to the command line interface, and we're still in privileged exec mode, but we need to configure. So we type in configure terminal, and we are in config mode. So we need to enter these commands that it specifies in its interface: serial 0/0/0, and that gives us to the command interface part of the router. And then we go encapsulation frame relay. I spelled it wrong. There we go. And then no shutdown. Okay, and we need to configure the sub interfaces for our router 1. And so we go back to configure terminal. Oh no, wait. We need to stay in configure terminal. So there, now we're back to config. Interface serial 0/0/0 .102.2 point. Oops, I have to put Oh, I keep spelling it wrong. Just bear with me 1 second here. I'm going to go ahead and pause it. Alright, I spelled it right this time, so we'll go ahead and enter that in, and you can see here link 5 changed, interface serial changed state to up. And then we need to enter IP address 10.0.1.1 255.255.255.252. And then the next one we need to do is frame relay interface DLCI 102. And then we go ahead and exit on there. And we're going to do the same thing to the other router, or sorry, the same router, but for the other ports, because we just did 102. I mean the other serial interfaces. My apologies. So what I need to do is pretty much type the same thing in that I just did. So we're going to do interface serial 0/0/0/0.103.2 point. Spelled serial wrong again. This is not my day. Okay, it looks like we're good there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pause it because I have to enter all that information again and don't want to take up too much space here. Alright, sorry about the wait there. I went ahead and got all the rest of that frame relay and IP addresses for the 103 and the 104 put through. So the next thing we have to do is configure the static routing on R1 so it will be able to communicate with the other three. So what we're going to do is route them to different IPs. So we're going to do IP route 10.20.20.255.255.255.0 10.0.1.2 and do the same for the R3 router 30.30.0. Oops, forgot the 10 at the start. 10.30.30.0 255.255.255.0 and then 10.0.1.6. And the last one we got to do is R4. And we do IP route again. Alright, so we got all those entered in. And now we just need to exit configuration mode, and now we're back to just exec mode. And we do show running config again. And we see here that we got IP routes in the system and the IP address right here, frame relay and all that. So yeah, it looks like that's good to go. Everything that we entered has taken into the system. So now what we need to do is we're going to pretty much apply what we just did to R1, to R2, R3, and R4. So since that would take up a ton of space for me to just sit here and let you guys watch me do that, I'll go ahead and get it done since you've already watched me do it the first time. So I shall return shortly. Alright, we went ahead and got all those configured with the same configuration for the frame relay. So what we need to do is verify that it works. So we need to go back to R1 and bring up the command line again, and we need to issue the show frame relay map. And that shows us that serial 0/0/0.102 point-to-point DLCI 102 broadcast and status active. They're all three are active. And you can show here that the configurations that we put into place are still there. And pretty much a lot of this right here, the point-to-point, was the same, and the interface DLCI was the same, but instead of doing specific like 104 on the other ones, I only configured it for 101. So we got that map shown. Next thing we need to do is hit the show frame relay LMI command. And that shows us statistics for each of the different interfaces, the serial interfaces, the 102, the 103, and still shows you the map right there. And now we need to issue this last command here, show frame relay PVC. And it gives you a little more information here. Packets sent, the amount in bytes, out bytes, how many dropped packets. So from this, technically I should be able to verify the connectivity. I just need to ping those other ones. So we got 10.1 or 10.0.1.0. And looks like we're getting responses, and yeah, that looks like we're good to go here. So that was a video on how to configure a frame relay on a router with a hub router and your 3 spokes. I do appreciate you watching, and have a great day.